Well, Dalian trying to rebound after a loss last weekend. They're excited to be here all week long in practice. Has said, this is going to be our home game. We got to show up for our hometown fans. You'll see a new kicker, and you'll also see both quarterbacks get some action today.
4 members of their offensive unit on the fly here.
Wise, Yateem, Shaw Chu come in along with Woodard.
So you think they're going to throw?
Well, if they line up, ready for this? If they line up Billy Lai as an end and send him in motion and he comes back, they're going to run to the side wherever he's going.
And how do you know that, Nick?
Because I've been filming these guys all week.
We're all doing our extra duty, and Phil and Frank Lazar Jr. have been out of practice doing the game film for these coaches. Nice job.
Second and goal at the 8-yard line. No motion on the line, so they may throw it here. Yateem, 2-step drop to the goal line, caught,
yep.
Touchdown! Jen Ma! Jen Ma has stepped up as a big receiver. He comes out of Beijing. He went to Beijing Institute, 6'2", 205, and they find him at the goal line.
Well, he is a big receiver. Look at him power across the line. Is that Tanner Varner he ran through?
So Jen Ma with a touchdown to give Dalian the lead. And in practice,
no, it wasn't.
He went over a couple people, and Bates says, that's the kind of receiver you got to be. Well, he showed it right there at the goal line. Fourth quarter action here in Dalian. 12 minutes and 17 seconds remaining in this one. Our third of 3 on the day. The Qingdao Clipper leading the Dalian Dragon King by a score of 35-26. Mick Moninghoff and Lou Tilley with you tonight. Oh! Ray, say hello to Mr. Kent Richardson.
Oh!
Decapitation. From a sold-out alumni gymnasium on the campus of Rider University, the Comcast Network presents NCAA Wrestling. Today, the 3-time defending national champions, the Nittany Lions of Penn State, come calling on the Rider Broncs. Hi, everybody. I'm Mick Moninghoff. Today, my pleasure to be joined by Greg Strobel, former USA Olympic wrestling coach and a former head coach at Lehigh University, as we are set for Rider and Penn State. And Greg, I look at today's matches, both teams with something to prove. Penn State, of course, wants to reprove it's the #1 team in the land. Rider, they want to prove that they belong.
Well, and it's a great time for East Coast wrestling to have a school like Penn State come to Rider. And by the way, the biggest crowd they've ever had here, which is phenomenal.
It's the match that they've been talking about here for a long, long time as they get ready for Rider and Penn State here at Alumni Gym. Penn State looking for its 4th national championship. We'll see where the road takes them. Welcome back. Penn State with a 15-3 lead over Rider as we go to 165 pounds. And Kathy Taylor has the video camera out as her son David is on deck. And David Sr., he looks intense as they come to see their son wrestle.
Now wrestling at 165 for Penn State, David Taylor. And for Rider, Ramon Santiago.
So David Taylor against Ramon Santiago. Taylor, #1 in the country at 165. And Santiago ranked number 13 by the same service, Intermat. Actually, David Taylor has already earned his degree from Penn State. He's now in grad school. A 3-time Big Ten champ and a 3-time academic All-American.
Optional start, lets him go.
He's out.
And David has the choice there, just saying, let's start on our feet, but evidently he wanted to do that. Oh, there's takedown. I tell you what, I do like that new takedown roll.
Do you?
Oh, it's great. It's gonna mean a lot more points, and the kids are gonna get skilled at doing it now. And what was happening in the past is people were going for stalemates. Now you can't go for stalemate. The referee's going to give you points.
He's going to play, let him up and take it down. Here is an escape.
Wow. Oh,
almost to his back.
Almost to a cradle right there.
So it's an escape, then a takedown, then an escape. The score is 10-4.
And to his back right there. Oh, he's got the claw.
And there's the fall.
Wow.
Fall number 42 in the career.
The heat on.
For David Taylor. Mom's loving it. That's recorded for all posterity. And his father, well, he got a picture of it too. And you can put the lens cap back on. 106th win in his career at Penn State, and it happened pretty quick.
See if they go zone on the inbounds here. Well, looks like they're going to pick him up tight in the corner. Stanley drives baseline, kicks it out front. Jabber almost walked into it.
Well, he's got to be aggressive right there. That's one of the few times he's had an open look. He passed it up.
Down low, forced pass here by Odinson, and it's a turnover. Jalo and ahead, gets it to Lee. Lee finds Stakaitis, couldn't get the shot away. He'll have to reset. Jumper out front, good for three. You don't expect Ferguson to step up and drain it, but he did.
He shoots it at 37%. Doesn't take a whole lot of attempts from beyond the line, but that's the aggressive play that Phil Martelli has been looking for, begging for at times from Robert Ferguson.
Jabber going up strong and scores on a baseline drive.
The last time he passed up the open three. Right now you don't see the confidence in his three ball, but he's got to be aggressive offensively as well.
St. Joe the lead and the ball up by one. 17:31 on the clock, second half, and an entry pass. They're going to call a foul. I think it's on Zoller. He pushed off to get to that ball.
I'm not so sure about that one. Looked like good solid post defense as he came around the post player inside. You're going to see Zoller as he comes reaching around. Boy, I tell you what, that's a tough call. Can't defend it any better than that in the low post.
And this ball tipped into press row by E.B. Jabber looking for the steal.
And neither team right now conceding anything defensively. It's even hard to get the basketball in on baseline out of bounds.
Stakaitis gets it into Dwayne Lee. And Lee thought about a three, gives up for Ferguson. He's feeling it. Good for three, another three.
Little pick and pop as Rob Ferguson, who was quiet in the first half, now stepping it up and making his presence felt on the offensive end.
14 points for Ferguson with 2 consecutive threes. 27-23 for St. Joe's. Turnaround. Jabber, one-hander, goes home.
Well, now all of a sudden you see the different ways that E.B. Jabber can score the basketball.
And the pace starts to quicken. 27-25, St. Joe the lead the ball, but here's a steal for Jabber. Looking to tie it up with a layup. Stripped by Dwayne Lee. Good defense. Once again, here in the second quarter, Lafayette has outscored Colgate 3-1. Cesar Munoz with 2 goals and Connor Sterling a goal as well. Munoz's second goal tying up the game, 4-4. And that's where we stand right now.
Yeah, Lafayette doing another fine job today, 7-3 on faceoff so far. Munoz is taking every one on behalf of the Leopards.
Offensively, see how they set this up. Mike Gallione's inverted behind the net.
They've been starting 2 guys on the crease. It looks like they're going to have one, and maybe they'll float one back inside again.
Perini is the man right in front of the net for Lafayette. 24 seconds remaining. Greg Alice gives up. They find Perini. Shot. Save. Rebound. Bauer score! Stephen Bauer on a rebound, his 9th of the year. And Lafayette has a 5-4 lead with 14 seconds to play and a half.
They absolutely did a great job of getting the shot they wanted. They ran their set. Colin Serling was the one who was supposed to get the ball and did get his shot off, but off the rebound. That was a good putback.
Lucic is right on the shoulder of Alistair Craig, and when you run a race and trying to come from behind, you want to be right with the leader. You don't want to lose contact, and right now he's sitting on Craig's shoulder right where he wants to be.
Well, I'm looking for Alistair Craig to make a move, probably with about 300 meters to go if he feels he needs to. Lucic still looks, he's very, very strong here, and again, he's in the catbird seat in that he's the one that is the hunter. The breeze coming up, of course, is going to affect both of them, but I would say Craig more because he's buffeting it. He's a little bit more slightly built.
Craig's starting to open his stride and pull away ever so slightly here on the backstretch, but you're right, Dwight Stones. There's more of a headwind on the backstretch than anything else, and Craig is breaking the wind right now for Lucic, but it is Craig's race to win. Twice, though, he has glanced over his right shoulder, which tells you he's not 100% comfortable.
Exactly. That's a telltale sign of not being certain, but he is trying to drop the hammer a little bit, and I think that he's made the break.
But it was at this point last year where Nate Brandon from Michigan made his move and caught him going down a stretch. Lucic's trying to go with him, but Alistair Craig has enough this time around. And Craig will get it done for Arkansas. And the winning time, 9:33.73. As Arkansas wins the men's distance medley championship. Pretty good anchor leg for Alistair Craig.
Very solid, but I'm very impressed with Chris Luxick. He knew that he had somebody that is a very, very good runner in front of him. He tucked right in behind him. He used every trick in the book that he could to use him to break the wind. He just simply is running against a guy who we might see in the Olympic final in Athens this summer.
Once again, Alistair Craig running like a champion. He went out front and held the lead, although he did look over that shoulder a couple times just to make sure he knew where his competition was.
And again, that's always a telltale sign. If you have a lot of confidence, know you've got more left in the tank, you probably don't need to check that many times, and he really checked a lot in that backstretch and in that final turn to make certain that Craig Luxick wasn't going to do to him what Nate Brannon did to him last year. But it was all Arkansas this time.
Vasquez, Gatson, Ahmed, and Craig. The 4 runners getting it done for Arkansas, the winners in the college men's distance medley relay championship.
You know, Mick, sometimes when you show the bunt, I mean, you're trying to bunt for a base hit, but also as the at-bat goes on, you're drawing that third baseman in more.
Well, this one rolls right up the line. Oh, it stayed on the line and kicked fair. Well, the third baseman, Josiah Brand, actually played it correctly. He was waiting for that ball to roll foul, but they must tailor this for the Penn middle infielders when they come up to bunt, because watch, this ball's going to hug the chalk and kind of kick right back into fair territory.
Well, it's not only going to hug the chalk, but when it does hug the chalk punches at it and knocks it back into the grass. I mean, we talked about the surface, and, you know, this is what we talked about.
Well, Young in game 1 had a base hit, RBI to drive in the first Princeton run. That was really all they would need as Chernoff came on at the score, and then he delivered another base hit in the 5th to drive in a run, and actually 2 score in this play as the Quakers mishandle the baseball as it goes into the dugout. So that's where Princeton made it a 3-0 advantage, and they went on from there to win it by that margin.
Yeah, that second at bat by Young where he drove that ball up the middle, that was a pretty good money at bat right there. I mean, he needed to come through. They needed that extra insurance run. Turned out that they really didn't need it, but it was nice to have that going into the back end of the game.
So with 2 outs, Young's on first, and 1 strike to count now to B.J. Zemansky. Here's a quick snap throw to first, and Young back in time. See if they run him here. Young off by about 12 feet. Zemansky trying to hit behind him, hold it foul. Well, Zemansky starts today over 300. And when I asked Scott Bradley, the head coach, if he's surprised by the way Zemansky was playing, he says, no, I wish I could have had him out here last year.
I think he felt that way about Will Venable, too.
Running on the pitch, it's hammered into center field for a base hit. Young takes a look. He's going to try to go to third. Here comes the throw. In time? No. Young slides in ahead of the play, and Zemansky delivers. We have runners at the corners now with 2 out.
You know, I sat there and wondered whether Scott Bradley would send the runner on a play like that. I actually thought he would keep him at first base, because Zemansky is such a good hitter that you could get a ball to the gap and have Young score from first base. But he does send him there, and Young does a nice job turning in second. I thought maybe he'd slow up and stop there because it was a good throw by Canales, but Young's speed gets him sliding in safely.
Young was going to third base all the way. He looked back at the ball, saw it, had no intention of slowing down.
Yeah, you leave it in his hands at that point. I mean, he read it perfectly.
Runners at the corners. This is a base hit and an RBI. First pitch swinging for John Miller. He plates Young, and Princeton now has a 1-0 lead on the RBI single to left field by John Miller. With Philadelphia, the power play opportunity for the next 128. Jones not able to get things started for the Phantoms. Now goes back and picks up the puck. He'll carry it in. Comes across the line, drop pass for John Slaney, gets it back to Randy Jones. Slaney, top of the slot. Jones has it, gives to Slaney, shot, hit the defenseman in front, but it goes right back to Jones. Kirby Law has it, works against the 3-man triangle. Law thought about shooting, now they give it up to Jones, back to Law, finds Slaney, makes the great glove hand catch, puts it down, centers it. Here's Kirby Law's shot, and that goes wide. Milwaukee tries to clear, it is not out of the zone, kept in by Kirby Law.
Boston doesn't have a stick either.
Here's a shot. That whistles wide. 43 seconds left in this man advantage. Looks like a shooting gallery out there. This one goes wide as well. Now John Slaney will keep it in. Clausen still without a stick. Kirby Law gets it, a front shot, score! And the Phantoms win it in overtime. A perfect pass to John Slaney. Slaney lights the lamp. His
try for John Slaney, and Philadelphia picks up a hard-fought 2 points in overtime with a win over Milwaukee by a score of 4-3. The left footer, the kick to the far side, and Bigiani tried a header. It went right to the far side for Egan. His kick was deflected. He now heads it for McCutcheon. McCutcheon throws it in front. It's still loose. Cleared but not away. And finally, it comes out of the box. Here's a turnaround, and this will go over the end line and out of play. About 9 yards away. Galini into the box and a score! And I believe it was deflected by Eric West as it went past David Giddings, and Lafayette leads it 1-0. 27-13 to play here in the second half, and Sandy Levy's kick. All the way toward the box. It is headed by Brancati. It goes in front, and a shot turning wide by Tom McCutcheon. Tries to play forward. Here's the freshman, Daniel Feldman. Feldman finds Egan. Bigiani onside, trying to beat the defense. He has a right foot shot. Centers it nicely for Egan, and now Galini to the far side to the left. Here's McCutcheon, takes the shot, and it goes wide. The 122nd coaching victory for Dennis Bond. More importantly, his offense showed up in the second half. And Lafayette will win this match by a score of 1-0. Andrea Kramer, one of the newest members of the Philadelphia Sports Hall of Fame. What does that mean to you going into this esteemed group?
It means that somebody remembers where I grew up. That's for sure. It was such a shock. It was such an incredible surprise. And it really means so much. And what really means a lot, Mick, is the people that are going to be here with me tonight. That's what's really cool.
Are you a big football fan?
I am.
Okay, well, we're here near Philadelphia.
Yeah.
The Eagles win the Super Bowl.
Still talking about it.
So let's role play a little bit. I'm with Baker Mayfield, the general manager of the Philadelphia Eagles. Now, you just had a backup quarterback win the Super Bowl. What do you do with him?
That's a great question. They definitely don't have a manual for this one.
Sooner or later, though, general managers will have to address the players on the defensive side of the ball. Of course, they'll consider all the measurables like strength, speed, and agility. But what if one of the top candidates only has one hand? Shaquem Griffin from the University of Central Florida was born with amniotic band syndrome. His left hand never developed. At age 4, that hand had to be amputated. Since then, he's never looked back. Last season, he led his team to an undefeated season and a victory over Auburn in the Peach Bowl. In 2016, Griffin was the American Athletic Conference Defensive Player of the Year. When did you know that I can play this game?
I mean, I knew right away. 4 years old, after my surgery, I went outside and started playing football. I remember my mom said, "Hey, do not go outside. Let your wound heal. I do not want you coming home with a dirty bandage." I mean, that same day I came home with a football in my hand and a bloody bandage. I said, "Mom, I felt so much better out there. I felt good. I was able to play again." And I mean, moments like that, that's when I knew, like, you know what, I'm finna play football. And then soon after that, I signed up that summer, was playing football, and I haven't stopped since.
Finally, why do I want to make this move at this time? Well, with the absence of sports, recently I became an essential worker in my hometown of Easton, Pennsylvania. And I was thinking, I'm very lucky to have a job at this time, but I wondered when I'd be able to return to the things that make me happy, where I can make a difference, producing and hosting programs that are informative and entertaining. Well, I can see myself doing that for you. Just remember, I don't work with an agent. So now that you've heard from me, it's your turn. I'm Mick Moninghoff, and I look forward to hearing from you very soon.